This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Welcome to the award-winning Rich in Life podcast. We're the podcast that dives deep into the true meaning of wealth. We're going beyond money. We're going into mindset, purpose, and the choices that shape our success. In each episode, we're going to bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and the real conversation to help you build a life that's rich in every way. So get ready to elevate your thinking, embrace new possibilities, and unlock the wealth that truly matters. So sit back, tune in, and let's learn how to be rich in life.
Think about the most important person in your life. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's a partner, a younger sibling, a mentee, a team you lead, someone who watches you. Now ask yourself this: what are they learning from watching you? Not about what you're telling them, not from the advice you give, from what you actually do. How do you handle pressure? Whether you're pursuing your own goals or not, whether you rest without guilt or grind without joy, whether you shrink when things get hard or show them what it looks like to keep going. Because here is what I know for certain. The people around you are getting a masterclass every day in how to live. And you're the one teaching it, whether you mean to or not. Welcome to Rich in Life. I'm Danielle Rizzo, and today we're talking about modeling, what it really means, who's watching you, and how to make sure what they're learning is actually what you want to pass on. There's a well-known concept in psychology called social learning theory. It was developed by Albert Bandura in the 1970s, which essentially proved that most of us instinctively know but forget. People learn primarily by observation, not instruction, right? I'm a visual person. I can read it, but I need to see it, do it, feel it. His famous Bobo doll experiments showed that children imitated adult behavior that they observed, including aggressive behavior, even without any instruction or reward to do so. They just watched and then they did. And I might be thinking, okay, Danielle, but they're kids, right? They don't know any better. Their brains haven't matured enough maybe to know exactly what they're doing. But this doesn't stop at childhood. Research consistently shows that adults model behavior from peers, from leaders, from partners, and colleagues throughout their entire life. We are wired to learn from observation, and it's one of the most powerful forces shaping human behavior. We've all heard about, like, you are the product of your environment. You are the circle you keep. But this is true. And this is a real researched psychological thing. And what this means is that every single day, the people around you, your kids, your team, your partner, your friends are learning from you. How you talk about your work, whether you honor your own commitments, whether you pursue what matters to you or keep putting it off, whether you show up as someone who has made peace in their life or someone quietly at war with it. And that gap between what we're saying and what we're doing, people see that, people feel that, especially the ones that are closest to us. Let me walk you through some of the most common ways well-meaning people accidentally model things that they would never consciously choose to pass on. Pattern number 1, modeling that your needs don't matter. This shows up as a constant self-sacrifice dressed up as devotion, skipping your workout to do more work, canceling your plans when someone else needs something, never resting until you've quote unquote earned it. You think you're being responsible and giving, but the people watching you are learning that taking care of yourself is selfish, that your needs come last. Is that the pattern that you're showing other people? Is that the life you want to be living? Pattern number 2, modeling that ambition is dangerous. I do not like this one. This is the person who is quietly playing small. They're not pursuing their goal. They're not starting the thing. They're not asking for the raise. And they're rationalizing it with responsibility. Now's not the right time. I have too much going on. Maybe next year. People around you aren't just watching you stay safe and stay stuck. They're learning that going for it is too risky and that dreams are for other people. And I do not like this. Let's not model that ambition is dangerous, right? Pattern number 3, modeling that work is suffering. If the people in your life hear you complain about your work constantly, the stress, the difficult people, the long hours, without ever hearing about the meaning that your work is doing, the wins, the purpose, they're building a belief that work is a burden. And if they respect you, they'll carry that belief into their own careers. No, that's not to say that we can't talk about the negative things that happen or that we can't be stressed, of course, but there has to be a balance. There has to be a ratio. It can't all be negative and that we're modeling that work is a suffering. Pattern number 4, modeling that life gets smaller with more responsibility. This one is like super subtle, but it's actually really devastating because every time that you frame responsibility, things like parenting, leadership, growing a business as the thing that costs you your joy, your freedom, your identity, you're teaching people, the people who are watching you, that responsibility is shrinking your life. That growing up means you have to give up on yourself. And none of these are like intentional, right? None of these patterns are things that we would actually teach our kids or teach our mentees or talk about, but they're all very common and they're all happening and we do them. But the good news is that all of them can be changed. Intentional modeling doesn't mean performing happiness or that you don't feel like pretending life is perfect. It means being visible about the real things. The real things that are in a way teaches resilience, possibility, and self-respect. It means that we're going to let the people around you see you work towards something hard and keep going. We're letting them see you rest without apologizing for it. We're letting them see you say no to things that don't align and yes to things that do, because we have choices. For parents specifically, research from the American Psychological Association shows that children whose parents model self-care and pursue meaningful goals outside of parenting show higher levels of self-efficacy and ambition themselves. Your pursuit doesn't take from your kids. In many cases, it gives it to them, right? If we're modeling to our kids that we're working out every day, or that we've joined a club, or that we have great family friends that we make it a point to get in touch with, or that we are intentional about our time, or that we, have Sunday night dinners, all of those things we're instilling into our kids and we're modeling those behaviors. We're modeling traditions, right? For leaders, the culture of your team is a direct reflection of what you model, right? That's not rocket science. If you send emails at midnight, your team now thinks that's the expectation because you're the boss. So you're setting the standard. If you take a lunch break, your team gives themselves permission to breathe versus if you work through lunch. We don't want to set that standard. If you talk openly about learning from failure, your team stops hiding their mistakes from you. You are literally always broadcasting. The question is whether you're doing it consciously or not, and if you want to be. So here's what I want you to do this week, because I love a good exercise. It's called the modeling audit, and it takes less than 10 minutes. Step 1, write down the name of one person who watches you closely. It could be a child, it could be a partner, it could be a teammate, a direct report, just one. Who is the person that watches you closely? Step 2, ask yourself, based purely on my behavior, not your words, not what you tell them to do, just on your behavior, what is this person learning from me about each of the following 5 things? What are they learning about work? Is it meaningful or a burden? What are they learning about ambition? Is it safe to pursue big goals? What are they learning about self-care? Do their needs matter? What are they learning about failure? Is it fatal or just feedback? And what are they learning about possibility? Does life expand or contract over time? Step 3, for any answers above that bother you, write down one behavior that you could change this week. Just a behavior, something that they would actually see to change the answers. That's it. The audit doesn't take long, but you just need to be aware. Again, this is data, and your data gives you action. We're allowed to take action based on the data that we are receiving, the data that we are acknowledging. The life that you build isn't just yours. Unfortunately, it does ripple. The way that you show up or the way that you don't, the way that you pursue or the way that you don't, the way that you treat yourself or the way that you don't take care of yourself, those become the standard for the people closest to you. It becomes what they think is normal and what they think is possible. So when you invest in your own growth and when you invest in your own clarity and your own aligned life, you are not being selfish. You are raising the standard for everyone in your orbit because excellence should be the baseline. That's what it means to be rich in life. Not just doing well for yourself, but modeling what that looks like for the people who are watching.